rice cooker, you're saying?
Oh, wow. Right into the pre-chat, huh? Some real zingers with this, I bet.
Yeah.
I did. Your information is correct.
You like it?
Yeah, it cooks rice. You know, it's pretty good with that. You can steam vegetables. Steamed asparagus is not very good.
You don't like steamed asparagus?
No.
Asparagus?
No, asparagus. Maybe is it asparagus? I don't know.
I don't know. I couldn't eat asparagus if it was even, I don't know, roasted. How do you normally cook asparagus? Boil it?
I roast it. You boil it. Jesus.
Isn't that essentially what you're doing in that rice cooker? Don't you put water in there?
It's like steaming it. You like put it on top. It's like you gotta own a rice cooker, I guess, to understand.
I have a rice cooker. What do you think?
Oh,
what do you
I'm
think
sorry.
special?
I'm sorry. You need to use a rice cooker to understand.
Oh, sorry. No, you got me there.
My bad.
So this is not as much water as boiling, and then the rice cooker heats up the water, so it's all steam.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good content. It's good stuff.
Do you have an air fryer? Should I get an air fryer?
I don't have an air fryer. Why would I have an air fryer?
I don't know. I hear it makes things crispy. I don't know.
You can just fry them. Like, I mean, can't you just fry them?
Isn't it better to air fry something?
Better how?
For you? I don't know. There's not a lot of grease. Not greasy.
Oh, well, thank God my fried food is healthy. That's what I'm looking for in fried food. It's got to be...
You know, I just want to change my habits just enough so that everything I eat and the amount of which I eat stays the same, but I'm healthier. Is that a lot to ask?
I don't think so. In our age of modern wonders, I don't think so.
All right. That's cool. Have you cooked rice in this rice cooker? I mean,
Yeah. Do you think I just steamed asparagus by itself?
Oh, you put a whole bunch of stuff in there. That was all together.
Yeah.
I thought you were like doing things separately at different meals.
Oh, God, no. I got it because it's a convenient, like, one-cook meal thing. Like, I just put a bunch of vegetables in it, and then I walk away for 20 minutes, and I come back, and then I scoop all the vegetables out onto a plate, and I eat them.
Dang. Do you put seasoning in the rice cooker, or do you season it after?
I could if I want. I don't know why you have so many questions. I could add seasoning if I wanted, Jeff.
All right.
What is it about me that makes you think I couldn't?
No, as someone who owns but doesn't use a rice cooker, I don't know how it's supposed to go, you know?
All right.
I maybe you put seasoning in there and it ruins it. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't steam as well, or the seasoning doesn't take or something. I don't know.
All right, I guess. I'll let it slide this time.
White or brown rice?
White and then some jasmine, which is also a white rice.
Oh.
But, it's just a little... it's just kind of like me, a little twisted, a little off the beaten path,
Gives it a little character.
Yeah, little something, little je ne sais quoi.
Oh. Got some French coming in. Okay.
Yeah. How long do we usually drag this out? It feels like we've been talking about my rice cooker for a long time, and I'm not interested. I don't know why you brought it up.
I usually just let it go till somebody brings it up that we should stop, but usually that person's you. So I mean, I was having a good time.
Okay.
But
you were? Wow. Isolation's really getting to you, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's do the intro where you say, hey, this is the Heads Up Pod, and I'm Jeff and Sean, and you say I'm Jeff, and I'm Sean. You know the deal. I don't need to walk you through it. You go ahead. You do it. Go ahead.
You want me to? Okay. Yeah. Hey, and welcome to Heads Up with Jeff and Sean. I'm Jeff.
I'm Sean. You sounded really nervous when you did that.
It's been a while.
All
It's
right.
been a while.
All right.
So obviously, this is a podcast. I mean, it might not be obvious if you're listening to it on YouTube or just overhearing it, but if you're overhearing it, that's also weird. But it's a podcast, and we usually do about 3 things. We're gonna talk about candy.
It's a podcast explicitly designed to be listened to while eavesdropping on someone else.
Yes.
The person listening to it directly won't enjoy it, but you might if you're listening in.
You might enjoy it. Yeah.
A little extra thrill for you. Ooh.
That's how we get most of our listeners.
I'm not supposed to hear this podcast.
Oh no,
I'm being naughty.
Yeah. That's the only selling point is if you feels bad. It feels like this is something that should be happening. But if you're
could we
subscribe to it, then it feels bad.
Could Heads Up be the official podcast of Naughty Little Boys and Naughty Little Girls?
Yeah, it can be.
All right. It sounds like you in your head talked yourself out of protesting.
Yep.
So I'll just let it slide. Jeff, what do we do on this podcast? We can't just drag this out forever. Jeez.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So many distractions.
We usually talk about a candy. We try to franchise a movie that didn't get the opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Of a franchise, and usually first we talk about animals.
Well, now it's time to get online through our internet service provider. It'll be cool. Here we go.
I didn't pick one because I don't care to.
It's all right. What do you know about wombats?
Nothing. Their poop is square, isn't it? Or is that?
Yeah, it's like a cube.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't roll away, but they don't really know why, I guess. I don't know.
Gotta just fucking keep an eye on it.
What is it like in Australia? Because I've not seen when Stella poops, it doesn't typically roll away, even though it's like a cylinder.
Yeah, I didn't think
not a cube.
I didn't think of Australia as like a particularly hilly place, but I guess it is.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with one thing we can all agree on: the Earth is flat.
Right.
So if a poop, regardless of shape, falls from a butt onto the ground, it shouldn't roll away.
Okay.
Are wombat poops particularly hard? So if they were like cylindrical or a circle, they would roll. You think? Do they bounce?
You think the wombats are worried about like doing property damage, being liable for property damage when their incredibly heavy poop rolls down the hill and breaks up a beaver's dam, or hits a kangaroo in the face or something.
Well, I know with my poop, I don't want other people to see it or come across it. So maybe the wombats are just kind of like shy in that way. I don't know.
All right. I guess that's possible. I guess I don't know enough about why their poop is square, why they need it to not roll away.
Okay.
Do they build like houses out of it? Or is it like they make their own bricks?
It seems like they can be stacked, but it doesn't say anything about them building houses with it. They burrow. They're a burrower.
Okay. Oh, maybe they don't want it to roll down into their houses. They go upstairs to poop.
Yeah.
And then go back downstairs to just like live their lives in their whatever holes.
Yeah. All right. I saw a fact about how much they poop in a day, which it seemed like a lot. Mm-hmm. But I didn't bookmark it.
Yeah, so. But when you divide it by a cube, it's probably not that much, right?
Yeah. I think they poop like 8 to 10 cubes per poop, and I think it was like up to 100 or 200 cubes in a day, which seems like a lot of pooping, which is why I wanted to look it back up. But
cubes got to be small then, right?
They gotta be.
So are they smaller than like a 6-sided die?
Oh, do you think if it dried out that people in Australia will use them as dice? You think? You're just going for size. Size.
I wasn't going for like utility. Sorry. Like the wombats are somehow mass producing games of chance.
Gotcha. Sorry, I did find this. Marsupial can pass up to 100 deposits of poop a night as they use piles to mark territory. The shape helps it stop rolling away. How far can it roll from their territory? All right. I'm trying to find the size of this poop for you.
Well, maybe thank you, Jeff. True friend. I'm gonna cut that line out and make it a ringtone. You were so sincere.
Well, they do stack the cubes.
Why? So they poop little cubes and then they turn around and handle them with their hands.
Yeah. The marsupial then stacks the cubes, the higher the better, so as to communicate with and attract other wombats.
Yo, dog. Check out my poop tower. This is Poop Tower 420 coming at you on YouTube. Today me and the boys are stacking poop cubes. I would watch a Wombat's YouTube channel, I guess is what I would definitely watch a Wombat's YouTube channel.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Hit that like and
bell
subscribe
to enable notifications.
Ring that bell.
Okay, I've got it. The scientists explain 2 centimeter or 0.8 inch cube shaped poops.
Okay.
Are you?
Not that big.
Yeah. They're unique to wombats and the natural world, so they're the only one pooping out cubes.
I'm sorry, as far as we know. They're unique to the natural world on Earth.
Sean, if you think scientists aren't out there finding poop for every animal...
Oh, I know they are. I was actually just going to say you sound a lot more like a scientist talking about the poop exclusively and nothing else about the animal. Those are the two things they're concerned with. How do they have sex and how do they poop? And I'm not disagreeing with the scientist's stance on this. I think that makes sense, but there's a lot of other things to know about animals, and maybe they focus a little bit too narrowly.
Yeah, this article also references a Twitter account at Poo Museum. And the name is National Poo Museum. So
great.
Just gonna pull up my phone real quick and follow at Poo Museum.
Totally, do it.
Let's see. Yep, there it is. Okay, all right. Follow. Welcome to the world's #2 museum dedicated to poo. We exhibit species, feces, celebrate the gut biome, support science and charities, educate and entertain.
Whoops! Let's cut off that last one, right, guys? I think this museum can just be to educate.
Yeah. Do you think there's a better poo museum out there, or do they just go right for the pun?
They went for the pun, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Because there's a better poo museum out there. I'd rather follow that one,
They could have called it, see, they missed a big opportunity. They could have called it the #2, I don't know, bodily waste product museum, and then the pee museum could have been #1.
Yeah.
Can you look real quick to see if there's a pee museum?
Yes.
How else will I know?
Pee museum.
The audience waits.
I'll tell you one thing. I can't spell museum.
In anticipation. The crowd goes quiet. He's lining up his shot. Can you find it?
I'll tell you, there's a lot of things about it, but I don't think there's a museum exclusively dedicated to pee on my cursory glance here.
Okay. No, I mean, that's okay. You don't have to...
I don't have all the answers, but if anyone knows of a pee museum out there, can write in. Let us know.
Yeah. Go ahead. Is there...
Why not? Fuck it.
What else about wombats? Let's wrap these wombats up. I feel like I know everything important about them, which is the shape of their excrement and what they do with it, which is stack it up.
Yeah. Well, the female wombat gestation period is around 21 to 30 days, but then the young crawl up into the pouch like any other marsupial, and they spend another 5 months in there developing. So it's kind of like, is it only 21 to 30 days?
Right. Yeah, it's like when I microwave food, I have to take it out and check it and then put it back in because it's never done all the way.
Yeah.
I don't say I microwaved it twice. I just I microwaved it, period.
Oh yeah, and then when sometimes instructions will say let sit for 2 minutes, it's like, well, you didn't tell me that in the cook time. That's 2 minutes. I could have been doing something else.
Right.
Damn.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. Now, I thought a baby kangaroo was called the Joey, but this is saying a baby wombat is also called the Joey.
Well, I mean, it's Australia, so you can't really... Your expectations might be too high.
They only got about 4 or 5 words for things, right?
Yeah, that's... Yep.
A wombat can run up to 25 miles an hour and maintain that speed for a minute and a half.
Jeff, can you say... That's good. Can you say... can you do an Australian accent and say Sheila? Talk about Sheilas?
Wow. Specifically Sheila.
That's what they call women, right?
Is it?
I don't know.
The Sheila over here. I can't.
All right. Well, that was...
How do you... Sheila.
I don't know. I was more of a 1920s gangster type. It's okay. I just wanted to see. You don't have to. I just wanted to
Sheila,
see.
see? Sheila. I don't. I don't have an Australian accent, I don't think.
All right. Hey, this is what the podcast is about, you know? We're learning. We're growing. What accents do you know? It's all part of it. It's all part of it.
Damn. Do you have an Australian accent?
Yeah, I have a pretty good one that I'm not going to use because it's racist, I hear. I checked Twitter the other day, and it was racist, so...
Really?
Sure.
Damn.
It's believable, right? Because I checked Twitter.
Yeah. That's so cyclical. You know, it goes around and around. Eventually, everyone will be able to be racist again with no problem. Don't worry.
That might be true, but I don't think you're going to enjoy the process of getting there.
No. So, someone asked on Google here if wombats can eat carrots.
It's really specific.
Apparently, they prefer grass.
Yeah, who doesn't?
So.
Yeah.
It's 420 somewhere. That's a group of wombats is known as a wisdom.
Yeah. That's okay. They don't really... I mean, they poop and then handle it with their bare hands, so they don't sound really wise. They kind of look like... I don't know what that face is. It's like a rat, but also like a deer, but also pushed in a little bit.
Yeah, kind of looks like a poorly designed teddy bear face.
Yeah. It's gross and I don't like it. All right, we'll change that.
All right. Their digestive process can take up to 18 days.
So almost as long as they're pregnant, right? Wow.
Yeah. So you might not know for the first 18 days whether you're pregnant or constipated. And this sentence says, and the lack of muscular contraction in their rectum. And then, wombats famously leave cube-shaped scat. How do they find out that they don't have muscular contraction in their rectum?
You know how they do that.
Does that mean the poop just comes out? Like there's no holding it in. There's no.
I mean,
there's no planning.
I don't know. How many wild animals do you know hold it?
I mean, some might. You know, some prey animals might.
Yeah.
You know,
to be fair, though, it does seem like of all the animals that might want to hold it, it would be the wombat to like bring it to their tower, or like, I gotta get to the edge of my field so I can mark my territory.
I'm so close to getting this 2 feet high. Gonna get all kinds of wombats over here.
The record. They can run as fast as a human.
I mean, like an average human, right? Not like Usain Bolt, right?
So this is an Australian website, but it says they can run at speeds of 40 kilometers an hour, which is 7 kilometers an hour slower than Usain Bolt is the exact reference they use. So,
boom.
So yeah, I guess he could outrun them, but.
But you're saying
I definitely couldn't. I didn't say anything about you, but no, you couldn't.
If you could,
now that I think about it, no, you couldn't, Jeff.
I mean, they say they can only sustain that speed for a minute and a half. So if I could run 26
for a minute,
an hour,
for a minute and a half, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? I guess if you could do that, the wombat wouldn't catch a live you because you die mid-stride somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't think I could sustain a run for more than a few seconds.
I wouldn't even bother.
Sure.
I just, whatever. Just let it kill me. What does it matter? That would actually be pretty cool. Man mauled to death by wombats in New England? Weird. I'd be on all those terrible, like, History Channel shows.
You would be. Yeah, they would tease your story at the beginning of a commercial break on news shows.
Some asshole teenager would have like shaky cell phone footage of it, of like me getting mauled by them.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably spouting some what is it, Zillennial speech? This dude is washed. I don't know. What do they talk about? What do kids say?
They don't
these
say
days?
washed. No one says washed anymore.
When did they stop saying
washed
that?
is at least 3 years old. It's been done for 3 years. Everybody knows that. You're embarrassing me now. I don't want
to. I just, I haven't gone on TikTok yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you can watch TikTok videos just everywhere. You watch them on Twitter or, go to the comments. People will say that TikTok is racist or whatever. Seen a lot of people think it's a real big thing that you revealed a comment as racist. They're big into it.
Yeah. See, if you can do that to every post you see that's racist, you can end racism within a fortnight.
I didn't know that. It seems to me like just identifying whether a thing is or is not doesn't really accomplish anything. That's like the first step of many. And then to treat it like a crowning achievement seems kind of, They
probably feel real good about themselves for at least half an hour.
I guess if that's all you have to live for. I guess I shouldn't begrudge them that.
Yeah. Could be worse. They could be making the racist comments.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, can we remake these fucking things? The faces gross me out. What else do we need to know? It's like a month to have babies, but then they're in there for another 5. Mm-hmm. They can eat carrots.
They're amazing.
Right?
They're amazing at burrowing, yeah.
They can burrow, their poop is square, their teeth don't stop growing, another thing I just learned.
Well, they burrow with their teeth, so I bet it's so that, they don't wear them out. Damn. They're crepuscular and nocturnal. Mm-hmm. So does make a lot of sense.
All night long. They're just, they like to party.
Oh, shit.
All right, let's.
Yeah, the more I look at its face, the more it's.
I just keep seeing these like head-on face pics. Like, it doesn't look like they have a good side. They're not smizing.
No, I can't tell if that's a really stubby tail or just their butt.
They kill things with their butt.
You're gonna have to.
The wombat's rear end is really their main form of defense against predators. When a predator is near, these quote big booty mammals end quote dive down their burrows and block off the entrance with their butts. As their booties are mainly consistent of cartilage, they are very resistant to scratches and bites. That doesn't sound right. They can also crush predators' skulls with their behinds. Period, and then that just goes to the next section. So this website also doesn't have any proof. In my defense, Jeffrey, in my defense, it's but it said it, so I repeated it, and I feel like that's good enough.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: spouting facts that have not been verified just keeps them out there, so they can get verified.
Yeah,
someone says something true and nobody else repeats it until someone can prove that it's true. How will we know what the truth is?
Well, I can think of a lot of different ways, but. I guess whatever works for you.
Yeah, for me personally, that's how I prefer to do it.
Though, Jeff, for me personally,
yeah.
I don't
know. I can't believe we went like I don't know how long, maybe 20 minutes, and we just found out now that they have big butts that they use to crush skulls.
I mean, so it says they can, but not that they do. God, I guess we'll do more research.
So maybe the scientists just slam their butts down on things and be like, that could crush a skull.
I think I know what kind of butt slamming these scientists were doing to find out how tense the muscles in their rectum. Scientists are gross.
Yeah, they learned a lot about this animal's butt, and maybe it started with the curiosity about the cube-shaped poop, but I don't know.
I don't approve of anti-science positions, but I think I understand them better now. Because scientists are nasty.
All right. You're right. We've got to move on. We've got to improve this just terrible looking animal.
It is really gross. I'm seeing some like side pics now.
Yeah.
None of that has improved how they look.
No, because it's weirdly when you look like straight on, it doesn't look like their face would be as elongated as it is. But the side pic, you really see that it is. That makes you think like the face is wider than it really should be. But but then it's got like these beady little eyes in the front of its face. It's
like chipmunk cheeks and corpse's eyes and gross little ears. And yeah, its face shape is gross.
I mean, where do we start? I mean, it's got stubby legs, but it's a burrower, so maybe the legs are fine.
If we're gonna let it keep burrowing, that's okay.
All right. How about this though? The front legs are a little bit stronger, so it doesn't have to use its mouth to burrow with.
And its teeth stop growing at some point.
Yeah, just has to be regular teeth. Maybe they're longer than you'd expect, but they don't keep growing.
Like rodent teeth. Like they got that long, but they... Yeah. Okay. What if we just got rid of its face? What if it just had, like, no face? What if it just had a nose at the end of its neck?
Okay.
Smelling out the best just poop cubes.
Yeah. The same style nose, like that little.
I was thinking like human shaped, but I guess we could do that.
Oh no, I kind of like the human shaped nose.
It's just like a big human shaped nose at the end of its neck.
They focused a lot on the butt. Do you want to change the butt at all?
Do you want to change the butt at all, Jeff? Don't try to pass the buck. How do you feel about it? I feel like I've made my feelings very clear. And yet here I am. It's still a mystery what you think.
I like the fact that it like blocks the entrance to its burrows with this butt.
See, I was thinking. Go ahead. Sorry.
I like its capacity to crush a skull. So in that regard, I'm pretty okay with its butt, I guess. Maybe give it some rectum muscles. I don't know. That's how I feel. Those are my feelings.
If you give it muscles up there, then its poop might not be cubed, and it's going to roll God knows where.
All right. Well, how about we give it the muscles, but we also give it the ability to really put its rectum into whatever shape it wants, so it can do the cube, but it could also do like a starburst.
Oh yeah, cool, like a Play-Doh toy. It has a Play-Doh toy.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, the spaghetti if it wants. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I was going to say instead of squares, they'd just be like cylinders, and then in their holes, they'd have a designated bathroom area where they dig down little cylinders, and then they boop, 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 fill them up.
Yeah.
But I mean, spaghetti's good too. Little star shapes.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it doesn't bust that out every day, but...
Maybe, when they're looking for mates, it can be a little heart.
Yeah.
And then other wombats will see it and be like, oh.
Yeah.
Little poop valentines.
Maybe one day they get real advanced, they can start pooping out letter shapes, Write the great Australian novel.
So when... That's pretty disparaging to the Australian people. I was going to say, yeah, all right. Maybe they could. Yeah, when humans have died off or left the planet, the wombats will rise up and maintain their own history, their own poop histories.
Yeah. The Australian outback is littered with the literature of the wombat.
Not now, but it will be.
Not now, but it will. Yeah,
someday
eventually.
In the future.
Yeah.
I like it. They could poop bricks and make little buildings.
Yeah. Be a whole poop-based society.
Maybe they can learn to use their poop to make flammables, so they can master the secret of fire.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm still looking at their gross faces, and even though they'd be in our improved system, I still just don't like their faces. Maybe a deep sense of shame based on what they used to look like.
Yeah.
And that's, maybe I've asked this question. In this mythology where we correct the works of God who did a bad job, is it from the start the animals are always like this, or is it they're the way we see them right now up until we've changed them, and now all wombats will have big noses?
I would say it probably starts from when we changed them. and that way, as time goes on, generations just forget how it was, you know?
But I want them to keep the deep sense of shame about how they looked. I think that's going to motivate their species.
Oh, yeah. I find shame is something that can be deeply ingrained and go.
I do too. Yeah, we grew up in the same town.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I know the same people here.
How do you feel about their size? Between like
no,
30
I
and
want them to be
80
smaller.
pounds?
Anything that burrows should be smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a big ass burrow. Can you imagine a wombat digging a hole? An
I can
80-pound
see some
wombat
of these
digging a
pictures,
hole
and
in
there's
your yard?
like a dude's picking one up, and it's like another person, basically. It's an ugly, hairy, fat person, but it's a person. That could be me in this guy's arms.
Yeah, some of these wombats look huge.
So smaller. I'm saying probably no longer than like a foot and a half.
Yeah.
Keep the weight under 30 pounds.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Something manageable.
Like if a bunch of them came at me, I wouldn't have to run, I guess is the point.
Yeah. How are they? Yeah. How are they 80 pounds, but their poop cube is like 2
Well, maybe
centimeters?
it's the fat ones driving up the number of cubes they do a day. Right? Because they could just have more cubes, and the scientists were like going after those ones and be like, "Wow, they poop a lot of cubes."
Hmm. I'm sorry. Once I switched over to image search,
it's pretty bad, isn't it?
What you're looking at. One of the related searches is fat wombats.
Don't see that, but I guess that's more.
I'll tell you, it looks about the same. They look about the same as the wombats that were considered normal. So
one that says full size. Oh yeah, I like my wombats full bodied. Thank you. You fucking pervert scientists. I've closed the image search. It was disgusting me.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. All right. Close out of that as well. So we've fixed their faces, given them a deep sense of shame, increased their digging power on their front legs.
Didn't change the tails, I don't think.
And fixed their rectum. There.
You blocked the hole up.
Yeah, I kind of like.
That's fine.
Yeah. You know. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel very inspired.
Is there
by
anything else
wombats
you'd change?
Really do a good job, if I'm being honest. I don't care about them. Is it a marsupial thing? Have we done other marsupials? Am I biased against marsupials?
We've done possums, which are technically marsupials, I believe. Because
I like possums. Pouch. They're useful, and I've seen them out here, out in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Wombat, there's a chance you may never see wombat.
That's like going to animal prison, and I don't go to human prison. Why would I go to animal prison?
It's true. Their pouch is actually backwards on the wombat, so when they're digging their holes, the pouch is.
Well, I want to reverse that.
So that's something.
Fill it up with dirt. Get those kids out. Get a job, you lazy kids. Yeah, I just don't care about wombats, I guess. That's a good thing to know, though.
Yeah. Yeah, because before you didn't know.
Let's take a couple episodes off of marsupials and then come back to it when I don't remember what I've said here. That's a good.
Next time, then we could probably do it because you don't remember.
It's a good point, but then we could try a different marsupial and see if I still just don't care about them. Because if I don't, you know what we could do? We could, because at some point we're gonna have to get next level, right? We're gonna finish with animals. We're gonna have to start deciding on continents, and I think Australia, maybe, if I don't care about marsupials, we could just sink that bad boy.
Oh, here's the thing: the world might be one step ahead of you because there are conspiracy theories out there that Australia does not exist.
Yeah, then where do wombats come from? I mean, I don't see them outside, so they have to be somewhere. Seriously, Jeff. Sometimes with you,
I'm just listen.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I've heard that, and I've never been to Australia, and I hear the toilets flush in the opposite direction, which doesn't make any sense. So,
you mean up?
Yeah.
That's gross. That's gross. I don't want that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sink that big dumbass island.
Get it down. Sink it right into the bottom of the ocean. Is that if it sinks? Is that where it goes?
I guess. I mean, it is like essentially a giant mountain coming up out of the ocean, so there's not technically a bottom for it to sink to. But you know what we could also do is we could just, because the world is flat, I don't really want Australia popping out the bottom, creating like a big sinkhole. All the water, all of our ocean water is going to flow out.
Yeah.
We could just like cut around the edges, right? Cut it underneath, get it like a mile thick, lift it up, put it on the moon.
Oh.
We can all keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
If we want it on this side of the moon, the side that we see. And if we don't, we put it on the far side of the moon and use it as a warning for aliens.
Yeah.
Everything here sucks.
Let's get Australia on the moon.
All right.
Let's do it.
I care much more about this than wombats.
Guys, if you want to sign up at change.org to get the Australia moved to the moon, follow a link on something.
I'm sure we have the technology to do it.
Yeah.
Jeff, they can follow a link on our Instagram.
Get Australia on the moon.
Yeah.
We can do this.
So earlier, change we can believe in, finally. Earlier, you told me that there was a request for a movie franchise.
Yeah.
We're in that section now. Do you have to do an intro?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
What movie was it? And more importantly, who requested it?
Someone you don't know.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
You might have seen them. They were at my wedding.
Oof. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Oof. All right, let's hear it. One of those people.
They're talking about the Truman Show.
Okay.
You know, starring James Carey. You know, some people call him Jim, but I think James is his full name.
Yeah, I call him Mr. Carey because I'm on a first name basis with the guy. Seems all right, but we're not friends.
Yeah, I want to say Ed Harris is the other guy, right?
Okay. Yeah, I definitely know who that is. Yeah, sure.
It might not even be him, so don't even worry about it.
Hey, Jeff, I definitely wasn't.
And since he's the second person I thought of, obviously he's not on the top of IMDb's page. So
yeah,
but I feel like he's the guy that, you know, runs the Truman Show. You know?
Yeah.
Do you remember this movie at all?
It's basically Biodome, but with Jim Carrey, and the other guy plays God.
Yeah. It's kind of like Biodome, only if
it's very much like Biodome.
If Pauly Shore didn't realize he was in there, and if
yeah, no, he was raised in there.
You know what?
But it is pretty much Biodome.
You know, I don't know.
I think that on second thought, you'll find that I am correct.
I mean, he is living in a dome.
Yeah. 1 point, Sean.
I think they bring in a lot of products because there's a lot of product placement. So I don't think it's self-sustaining like Biodome was meant to be.
But initially, that stuff into the Biodome. So point, Sean, 2.
But they're not trying to make it self-sustaining. You know what I mean? Anyway.
But the introduction of other people into this system throws a wrench in the works, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. In both movies.
No.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No.
Yes, it does. Because there's the scene, right, where a man hides himself in a birthday present so that he can get at a little boy. Do you remember that scene in the Truman Show? So that he...
Yeah, it was one of the cutaways.
Yeah, I remember cutaways about this movie.
And he was so excited to be on the Truman Show.
Well, there were other people who were trying to interfere to tell the kid that it was a big show.
Yes, yeah. The main crux, which is kind of weird, is one of the other actors during his college years. He liked and went over to ask out, and she wasn't supposed to talk to him. But then they run to the beach, and then she gets pulled out, and he's secretly obsessed with her the whole movie. Like he's cutting out things from fashion magazines, like eyes and mouths and stuff, and he he's gluing them on this collage to make her face
tight.
And so every day he gets the magazine, cuts it out, and just like tries to make the face more like he remembers her. Like
a true red pill brother. Like, yes, okay.
Yeah, and he has like her sweater from
and he smells it and sleeps with it.
Like hidden in his basement. Yeah, he grabs it and he like hugs it. Yeah,
creepy. I'm not a red pill guy. I just wanted to clarify that. You know how these people on Twitter get at it.
Yeah. Before you know it, they're not going to realize you're joking, and then all of a sudden you're going to be known as the red pill guy.
That would be great if I was. I would be a great example. People who did do red pill bullshit. That'd be a great example. I should be in more positions of authority.
Should.
But yeah, so just like Biodome, there's like complications introduced to the dome. Just admit that it is essentially Biodome. Which came first, Biodome or Truman Show? Biodome.
Well, Truman Show was 98, so I guess Biodome would be before that, I would hope.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Biodome IMDb. 96.
Now, the Truman Show was filming between 96, I think might have even finished up in 96, and they shelved it to 98, I think.
So now you're bringing in you're bringing in a bunch of your little bullshit filmography nonsense. Well, they delayed the filming, or they didn't release it for this reason. Yeah, no, you know why they didn't release it? You know why they didn't release it in 96? Because it was a shot-for-shot remake of Biodome. And they knew they had to see how big Biodome was going to be, and because I assume Biodome was a flop, that they felt safe 2 years later releasing what was essentially a recreation.
Yeah.
And what did
Go on.
What was Edward Harris?
Yeah, Ed Harris. Yeah, plays.
He played God, right?
He played Chris. Yeah, he was like the executive producer, basically.
Yeah.
We had Paul Giamatti up there, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
I think he was just a regular producer, because when Christoph wasn't there, he was like, "Go to this camera, go here."
Oh, he played his character from 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if he did Civil War reenactments.
Hey, how's this for? I know we're not at that point yet, but how's this for a franchise? Yeah. He works. What's the guy's name you just said?
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti works there to save up for a wine trip to wine country.
Yeah.
With his weird looking friend.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't that a movie? Am I not referencing a movie?
That was Sideways?
I feel like I was referencing a movie, and it was clever, because we don't have to
I thought you were going somewhere.
No.
Yeah, Sideways?
No.
Yeah. Gets really into wine.
Jeff, end of idea. Sorry.
Hey, that's usually what I do, okay?
So, how do you like it? All right, so the kid... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so... What is it? It's like 30 years. I think it's like the 30-year anniversary or something like that. Because Truman's birthday is coming up.
I thought you were talking about the movie being released. I was going to be your fucking math's off. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Show's been running for 30 years. I think it has like the show revenue generates about a GDP of a small nation. So there's a lot of jobs at risk. The dome is built right behind the Hollywood sign.
Okay.
And so...
Is he born in here? Is he born in the dome?
Yes. Yeah, he's officially the first human being to be adopted by a company. And he's born... He was one of the few pregnant women gave birth, and he was the first one. And so they went with that.
But he was in the dome? They all lived in the dome before the show?
No. I believe they put him in that dome.
He was raised since a baby in there, but he entered the dome after being born.
I believe, yeah, he was, and he was, but like almost immediately, and then he was raised by actors, not his real parents, because he was an unwanted child.
Yeah, so like Pauly Shore's character from Biodome, he entered the dome after, and was probably raised by parents who didn't want him.
Possibly,
and that's a sad Pauly Shore fact, but it is sad. One.
It's sad. And then they do things to implant in his memories so that he'll be less likely to travel outside the small town by making him afraid of flying and afraid of the water by killing off his actor dad in a boating trip with just him and his dad.
Yeah, it's a cool way to wage psychological warfare.
Yeah. So he's afraid of boats and shit. But every actor, you got to think, it's a small town, so those actors, at least like the main ones, have to have that job for 30 years for almost 24 hours a day, right? They got to sleep in that dome in case something happens.
Okay, but think about on like a day-to-day basis. Like, how often did you run into the same guy from the small town you grew up in?
I guess, but he's got the wife who I believe he met in college as well, who is an actor, so who doesn't really love him, but is living with him and is sleeping with him, I guess, and his best friend. Right, and then you have his neighbors, so they have to be there like immediately in their fake families.
That's
for
fair.
30 years. 30 years.
Yeah. Well, they get to go on vacation, remember, because the company didn't traumatize them psychologically.
Yeah, that's true. But, the whole shit starts falling, going to hell. He realizes he's in this TV show, and then Ed Harris has a speech about trying to convince him to come back before he leaves the dome. So
I remember that.
Be great.
He sails to the edge.
Yeah, how good would the show be once he realizes that everyone around him is an actor? Once he's hyper aware that 24 hours a day he's on camera.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the show would pivot to just be like they would slowly introduce concepts like your dad didn't die, and then they'd film all the psychological trauma from that, and then everyone would watch it.
They already did that to try to convince him that it was real, because his dad, the actor who plays his dad, showed up as like a homeless guy to try to infiltrate, just like the guy that popped out of the box, and so they brought him back to try to get him to realize that it is real life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they could have pivoted, but I don't think the show would have been the same, right? It would have been like, how weird is that?
It wouldn't, but like people now make connections for fake people on TV. Yeah. Like actors playing roles. They do that now, and those shows change.
But I don't know. I just being in there, just going back in there and going back to be a fake insurance salesman, so he knows his job is bullshit. I don't know.
Well, I think all insurance salesmen know that.
Well, most jobs are bullshit, but
yes.
I'm just saying it wouldn't have been good. Once he found out, he should have leaned into it and then ended the show, which since he left, they did anyway. But I think that's where we have to pick up is when Truman leaves the show, right? Because then there's how many countless people out of work that have been working on that show for 30 years that also aren't in real society.
Well, so if the company was smart, right, and as soulless as it seems to be, they would already have been raising other children in there for like spin-offs.
You're right.
And they could just be like, the town you remember, like like the whole ad, like we could recreate like the town you remember. Yeah, exactly.
He started off as like the wacky neighbor kid.
Yep. Yep. And they can make it a little bit more sitcom-y, right? They can do forced lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
They can do all sorts of shit like that if they're smart.
So you think they keep it going in that way? They already have the town up. They've already got these things in place.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, they get another 30 years out of a kid, right?
Right. 30 years of like maintaining the money value of an entire country. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't have the initial cost to sink in because the town's already there.
Dome's already built. A lot of the audience is there too. They don't have to like do too much. They just do some advertising to pull people back.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So the sequel would be like the Mikey Show, and it would be like a 10 or 11-year-old who's kind of like gets into trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean people have done a lot worse for a lot less money.
Wow.
So
damn, I'd watch that.
That one's simple. I don't think I would.
Not 24 hours a day. That's the other thing about it. It was on 24 hours a day. No. Just splice together clips, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, so if he was adopted by the corporation, but he's like in his 30s now, does the corporation have any say in his life when he leaves?
I don't think so. I mean,
because he's like an adult, right? But they've left him trapped in that dome.
I think he's got a pretty strong legal case. So I think we've got a law thriller, right, where he's working with a lawyer to sue the company for a lot of the money that he's owed because he's been their star and he's been making insurance money.
Right, because on his own, he's got probably no marketable skills. He probably didn't even learn how to actually be an insurance salesman. They probably only taught him like the showbiz kind. He probably only has like interesting phone calls, and then that's it, or maybe like an awkward dinner.
Yeah,
he doesn't actually know how to sell insurance. He's got no built up wealth at all, but he's like hyper famous.
So yeah. Exactly, like he's got nothing to fall back on. So, I mean, I guess he's entirely financially dependent on a girl he was obsessed with from high school, which is super cool. Do they get together? Right, I remember a scene of her watching a screen, hopefully.
Yeah, from what we tell, if her main living space, she is part of a small group of people who want Truman to be released and free and stop the show. So she's got like posters about freeing Truman, and she watches the show obsessively. And I think she touched the screen. Also, Ed Harris touched the screen when Truman was sleeping. Like, way creepy. But yeah, she's invested in this guy she thought was cute when she was acting on a TV show about this guy who doesn't know anything that's going on. So I'm sure their relationship's going to be probably pretty great because she's probably been watching since this college years.
She knows everything about him. But
yeah. And all he has is this weird mismatch macrame of what her face might look like.
Yeah.
So, So that could be interesting. Maybe they find each other, and then they find out after like a year of dating they hate each other. And you can blame it on his fame or how he's not really adjusted to actual society or things like that, or he's never had sex with a woman before who wasn't being paid to sleep with him.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's a problem. His expectations are very different, I would guess, though.
Yeah, you're like, wait, I don't just stick it between your thighs? It goes up there. Oh,
what's that lady's story, though? Yeah. Where she was like a prostitute for hire.
Well, at one point he like puts a knife to her throat.
Whoa, Jeff, you're keeping a lot under the. You're playing your cards close to your chest. I don't remember the whole movie.
Well, because as he's getting like paranoid and seeing like the world around him, like he takes her on he drives like crazy through the town trying to get different places, and then when they're home the next day, she's like, "All right, you're having a little episode. You're a little crazy. You calm down." And then he's like, "Oh my God, you're in on it," because she's doing a product placement for coffee or something.
Yeah.
And then she pulls it's like a knife thing, peeler thing, and then he like takes it from her, and then his best friend comes coming in to try to stop it. But
so,
yeah,
the girl he's obsessed with from high school sees this when she's outside.
Yeah, you see it on TV.
Okay,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that relationship
she's
not going to last long outside the dome.
She's like, this is the guy for me. I'm sure of it. But being the wife of Truman, do you get a lot of acting jobs off of that, you think?
No, I mean, a lot of the big names in the show, like the popular character, like his best friend or whatever,
they're probably still contractually obligated to be part of Mikey's life.
Well, probably. They'll have walk-on parts, but they're too high profile to, like, do other things. At least for a couple years. Yeah. So hopefully their compensation is good, because they have to, like, retreat for a couple years and then hop into, like, a movie or something. A Jim Halpert, Yeah. And the first one or two just have to fucking bomb, You're playing football with that other guy, and the movie's terrible, and then you do a bunch of, like, military propaganda in the form of you're some sort of defense agent. And that's how you get back into movies.
Yeah. Maybe Truman also kind of wants to, play off his fame a little bit and see if he can be an actor. And so maybe there's an awkward moment in the waiting room for auditions where he runs into his fake wife.
Oh, yeah.
And they have awkward small talk.
Yeah. Remember that time you put a knife to my throat?
Yeah. Remember the time I was having a mental breakdown because I've been lied to my entire life, and so I almost tried to slit your throat to get you to tell me the truth.
And the number one thing you wanted to do was maintain and perpetuate that lie?
Yeah. And then remember how it was on TV, so like the whole world saw it, but like I didn't get in any kind of trouble or there was nothing brought up about it because in your contract there's like you can't sue.
Yeah. You remember that? Do you?
Good times. Maybe he's like so hyper, famous and that maybe he since he has no friends in the real world to start out with, maybe he starts just getting friends that aren't really there to be his friend, but just around him because he's famous,
I mean, yeah. I don't know what he would do. I mean, he'd date that woman he was obsessed with and then realize that obsessing over a person isn't love. It's actually, a dangerous obsession. She'll realize this was the guy who was so paranoid that his world was fake. He was threatening to cut a woman's throat that he had been married to.
Yeah. Ugh. And because she was obsessed with him as well, so that there's that, like, just image of someone built up in your head, so, like, real life,
I think
it's going to come crashing
down.
I
think she might have, it'll last through the you guys don't know him like I do stage. She'll definitely be doing that. Maybe
they'll form some sort of group that is actively trying to stop more corporations from adopting babies.
He breaks after she dumps him, and he goes and he lives on like a farm somewhere in the Midwest, and he has like a cult. He has like a Truman cult where like people are forced to act out days from his life from the show. He wants to go back now. He didn't realize.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too late now because the show's all about Mikey. Mikey's the success. He can't get back in.
Can't get back in this can be the movie tie-in where...
Sorry. The world loves Mikey now.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that.
Oh, but there's also a story where he gets to go try to find his birth parents. Because they know what he's up to. They know he's out.
I guess, yeah. I don't know what his birth parents would be doing. Were there scenes of them in the movie watching him?
Not that I remember.
Yeah, they don't give a shit at all. That's.
Yeah, I guess give him to this corporation. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it was a good deal,
Yeah, but the show was such a success that it had to be. They had to know that what's going on.
Sure, yeah.
But maybe they still don't want anything to do with him. So he spends the whole movie on a road trip trying to locate his actual parents.
He's got to do stuff.
To find out they're also
dirtbags. He's got to do stuff he's afraid of, like sail, fly.
Yeah. Yeah. He still has some ticks, of like, he just hands whatever money to somebody when he goes to buy something, not expecting change or that it not be enough, It's like, usually I just hand dollars and then I grab whatever I want.
Did you do that in the movie?
I'm sure he probably got correct change at one point, but I'm assuming they're like, I don't know.
That would be crazy for an insurance agent. So he probably, But he doesn't know. He doesn't fucking know anything.
Yeah. Maybe he so obsessed with privacy. Maybe he does something. Maybe he tries to plot against the government once they release the Patriot Act or something.
Okay, getting pretty dark with it. Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. Yeah. Maybe he is a domestic terrorist. Do you want to watch that show? What a great movie. The guy from the Truman Show tried to blow up some federal buildings. That's cool. Yeah.
I'm not saying he would blow up the building. I'm saying maybe he's like, this isn't right. Maybe he's an activist. Maybe it's a Mr. Smith goes to Washington kind of thing.
Didn't see it. Not real interested.
I guess what I'm saying is he's white, so he wouldn't be considered a terrorist. Okay?
That's fair.
That's not me. That's not me. That's the country.
It's a fair argument. That's a fair argument.
At best, he'd be an anti-hero that some people relate to. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, he befriends a young Mark Zuckerberg, tells him about experience, and that gives Mark Zuckerberg the idea for the Facebook.
Yeah, kind of like a dome in the internet that people willingly enter.
Right. That's their lives, all on there.
But in the movie, if
So
Mark Zuckerberg's there, I would like a scene where he trips and falls down a flight of stairs and dies. Ooh, just a little editorial note. I think this would be good for the movie.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fall hard. Yeah, it's gotta make it real. Gotta make it real.
Got to be rough.
Okay, so we got the Mikey Show. We've got Road Trip. We've got Failed Relationship.
It's going to be like a marriage story, like a Netflix original marriage.
Right.
It's okay, all right. So I'm imagining, though, like, I don't think this company could have pulled this off without help from the military. Certainly not without their blessing of some kind. And think of the sociological experiments you could do, right? I imagine there's probably people in other domes elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, try to recreate the success.
No, I think they're being used as test subjects to find out how to control populations.
Oh, shit.
That's a thing governments are very interested in.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, like...
they do it pretty successfully with one person, then they keep adding more non-actors slowly in and slowly in.
Until they just have, like, a dome society that doesn't realize it's stuck in a dome.
Yeah. They use them for population control, I guess.
That's one reason. I don't think governments are real into that, or else they'd pass sensible policies. Mandating access to birth control. The most effective control.
Whoa. Birth control. Damn, okay. I didn't know what
I thought it for a minute. You didn't know what it was. This is a thing? What? What are you telling me?
And you put it between their thighs.
Yeah, a great scene of Jim Carrey learning about birth control, yes. Oh my god, there's one. Jim Carrey finds out that people he slept with, they never taught him about birth control so that they could own his children too.
Oh.
So
damn.
So his kids are in a bunch of domes all over the place, and some of them are in sociological experiments, and maybe some of them rich people hunt for fun in these domes.
Yeah, and he didn't realize that for several years because he became one of those people after being forced to be in a TV show without his consent, decides, I don't own a TV.
Yeah, one of those people, Jeff. You know the type. They were raised since birth on a TV set. Trapped in a dome, they didn't know it. Yeah, those people are the people who don't own TV sets. I don't even have a TV because I was raised in a dome, forced to be on a show without my consent.
I was TV, okay? I don't need a TV. I was TV.
Yeah, so he's got to go. And I think maybe his wife, actress, has a turnaround. Like, part of her contract was any kids she had with him.
Yeah.
Were just the companies. Or maybe, when he was in college, there were a bunch of other women he slept with. I don't know. He doesn't seem like the type. He seems hyper-fixated on one woman, but...
Yeah, real fucking nerd.
I bet there were people in the show that, collected his semen so they could artificially inseminate women who volunteered for money.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
You gotta think like a TV exec, so no morals.
every waste, everything that was thrown out, I mean, that's company property right there.
It sounds like, Jeff, they're gonna clone him, and you know what happens with clones. That's your new 5-minute warning. No, but his kids are scattered around, and he's got someone approaches him from inside the government, who's I have these records of these are your kids. You don't know them, and you've never raised them, but you might feel like you have a responsibility. I don't know.
Yeah.
Starts into it.
Oh yeah, that was their favorite one. Okay, so that maybe they use his clones, and they're like, okay, well, this only lasted 30 years. He got real into it. He was kind of not like the. I know people loved it, but he's kind of boring. I used to think, and so they raised like 5 of those domes and have different Trumans in them simultaneously, and they do like a sliding doors thing. Like, oh, what happens if on his 10th birthday this happens, or what happens in college if this happens or that happens.
Oh yeah,
to see how those clones would turn out differently.
Yeah,
that's the show.
The Walking Dead Truman universe. What if there's zombies in the dome?
Yeah. So, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Maybe it gets outlawed. It gets outlawed to adopt people and raise them in a dome. So Ed Harris has to create a dome on an island.
Oh yeah, he's got to smuggle all these clones out.
Yeah.
Because remember when he touched the screen when Truman was sleeping, he still feels he feels something for them.
He's so connected to him still.
Yeah, it might be a perverse God complex kind of feeling, but there's something there. So yeah. Mm-hmm. No, this time he goes, you know what? If it's illegal to build domes, that's fine. We're doing this. We're doing this one with the top off. And they put all the clones on an island.
Yeah. Yeah, they call it Truman Show. Tops off.
Yeah.
Topless.
Tops off.
Topless Truman Show.
We did.
And they break the perimeter. They've been genetically modified to be killers.
All right. We should have pre-established that, but... Well, I guess when they're transported to the island, they realize they've lived in domes all their life, and now they're being they feel like they're being exiled to an island. So, of course, they revolt, and tear the place down.
Yeah.
But.
They have a bunch of people come survey the island before the show actually premieres. The power gets out.
Yeah. The Trumans get loose. One of the Trumans has acid spit. He spits in a guy's face. He's trying to steal their DNA.
Yeah. I want to say Truman eats a lawyer on a toilet.
That sounds right. That sounds right. It's going to look different in the movie with different connotations. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
He does find a lawyer on a toilet.
He figures out how to open doors.
If you stand still, he can't see you, though. One of them just has really bad eyesight. Just squinting.
This one has glaucoma.
This is Squinty Truman.
One's really fast, so they try to get away on a Jeep.
Yeah.
It's just running behind them.
When they get to Indoraptor Truman, though, they're fucked.
Mm. One of the sequels, the Trumans become friends with Chris Pratt, ride a motorcycle with him.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't ride. They run along beside him while he rides a motorcycle. They're that fast.
Yeah.
He's trained them well.
Yeah. He raised these Trumans from birth to take orders.
They take to it naturally. It's what they were bred for.
Yeah.
That fits really well, though, because it would still be, if there was like rich people hunting Trumans in the wild dome, the island is a natural evolution of that, so they'd have that hunter guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to bag me a Truman.
Say it's the most dangerous.
Most dangerous prey.
Thank you. Most dangerous prey, Truman.
We got a bunch of Trumans up on that hill there. We're gonna have to walk quietly.
Careful now. Some of these will try to talk out of their butt.
I think those two would
moving their cheeks.
I think those two are Joey's and the others are Sheila's.
Yeah, they make all the Trumans male so they can't reproduce, but
Truman finds a way.
Nature finds a way, yeah.
Well, I imagine the Trumans break into the lab and they're people, so they're just like, oh, cool lab equipment. We can learn how to use this. We're people.
Yeah, I went to fake college.
Except for that guy. He spits acid. That's dangerous, Truman. Candy, no transitions.
Yeah, I looked up what the most popular summer candy was, Sean, and do you know what the answer is? Do you have a guess?
Necco wafers making a big comeback among the youth. Sometimes when teens are on social media with each other, they'll talk about, they call it a necking.
Yeah.
Sure, for Necco wafering, well, they'll get on, their Twitches and their Discords, and they'll eat Necco wafers together, and it's like a cool, fun time.
Dang. They have little challenges about doing things with Necco wafers, like setting them up like elaborate courses.
Yeah.
Cooking them into different foods.
Yeah.
Things like that. There's a Necco wafer dance.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. The wafer. They've got one called wafering, where you lie flat on something.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the whole thing. Remember when planking was big?
Yeah.
Feels like a million years ago.
It does feel like a million years ago.
It really was.
Do you want to bring it back?
Wasn't that long ago. Well, the kids are already doing it.
They're doing it again?
With wafering. Yeah, you lie flat like a Necco wafer.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. All right. You're right. Hey, post on Instagram, tag Heads Up Pod of you wafering.
Yeah. Please do it with a mask on and not in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely
masks, show safety.
Geotag your pictures so that when we data mine you, we can sell that to companies for more money. That's where we're getting all of our money. So
data mining is really the only way to make a lot of money these days.
Is.
You know what I mean? Like you can make some money doing like regular jobs.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
It's
gross.
Data mining and Bitcoin for smart guys like us.
That's right. I got a cold wallet.
Yep.
I got 3 computers just mining away, solving them math equations.
Believe it. Just a total blockchain, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
What candy was the most popular, though, other than Necco wafers?
So, when I did a Google search for summer candies, there was a list of most popular summer candies, and the first 4 hits, the first 4 websites, all listed saltwater taffy as number 1.
Okay, gross.
Right?
I've had saltwater taffy, and it's so chewy.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it's supposed to be softer than regular taffy and easier to chew. But
I don't.
Other than like saltwater taffy and let's say Laffy Taffy, I don't think I've had regular taffy, maybe even ever.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess if I ate regular taffy and it was a lot harder to chew, maybe I'd be like, man, saltwater taffy's my jam, I guess. The problem is, I don't mind a chewy candy, I guess, but the problem with mine is people always bring back like an assorted box of saltwater taffy, and there's so many random flavors. I only like 2 or 3, and you can't tell by the color. They don't label the little things they wrap them in. You got no idea. And so, I think I'm going to have a good flavor, something gross, so I only go at it 2 or 3 times, and if I don't get a flavor I like, I'm done. That box is useless to me.
Yeah, saltwater taffy has just never been... I remember eating it as a kid and being worried it would pull my teeth out. It was just so...
Yeah.
Gross.
What's gross is people keep referencing why the saltwater taffy originated, because they're saying it's not really like salt water in it, even though some of the ingredients are salt and water. But it says it originated in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and it said like a candy shop flooded with salt water, and the guy sold it as saltwater taffy after like all the taffy that got flooded.
Contaminated
That's
taffy.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's gross.
Yeah.
It's not just a salt. Hopefully, that's just a great story to tell about what saltwater taffy's like. But that saltwater has to like go places to get to flood the candy store.
Yeah.
Like over the street. Through like trash cans. maybe into some bathrooms and then like flows. Because like the water, even in the candy store, if there's a toilet in there, the water level is over the toilet, and that's also toilet
water taffy now.
And I know toilet water taffy, yeah. And I know people tell me like percentage of waste per water is probably fine, but there's no way that guy didn't get run out of business. I mean, maybe everyone was like, "Wow, this contaminated taffy."
I mean, did he let
delicious,
on that his shop was flooded and he was just selling the candy anyway, or?
Yeah, how long before they cleaned out all the water and fixed everything, and then he sold that taffy? Was it another season? Was that stuff laying just in his stockroom?
I got the idea when my place flooded and all the gross outdoor toilet water came flowing into my shop, and it smelled so good with taffy that I put some salt water in it.
Oh, this is saltwater bread. Yeah, my bakery flooded last summer with ocean water.
This is saltwater Italian food. My Italian restaurant flooded. You don't like saltwater pasta?
Just gross.
No, I'm sorry, sir. It only smells like we cooked it in the toilet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, that's ocean.
The ocean
seasoning.
always smells great when you get up close to those tide pools.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. Can you just buy saltwater taffy not from a candy store on a beachfront?
You could.
You must be able
just Google
to, right?
saltwater taffy.
No, I know. But is there is there a Hershey's or a Brax or whatever that like corners the saltwater taffy market?
No, they can't because it's a nasty candy. Because it's gross. They know how gross it is.
So are circus peanuts, but somebody's
first of all, it doesn't
those,
cost much to like spray sugar flavoring on compacted sawdust in the shape of peanuts. Like that guy needs to sell 2 bags a year to stay solvent. Probably to make a profit. Mm-hmm. Salt water, I don't know how to make taffy, and I would never put salt water in it or toilet water. Unless someone irritated me, I guess. Then all bets are off. If I'm mildly irritated, then all bets are off. But
yeah. But there's not like we don't have a major player, at least in the United States, that is trying to corner the saltwater taffy market. It's all like more local or artisan places that'll sell you saltwater taffy, right? That's all I'm finding.
Look. Get some of that ASMR, me typing on my keyboard. That one's free. You're welcome. I'm sure there is, but
like if it's such a popular summer candy, is it because you can only get it at the beach, or order it online? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's because like if you only eat it once a year when you go to the beach, you don't remember year to year. Like, oh yeah, it was gross last time.
You associate it with the fun time you're having at the beach,
right? Or like when you were a kid, you got some and it was just like sugar to you.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If there's a good flavor and I don't have to sort through in a sorted box that doesn't have a labeling of what the colors are,
right?
I'm into it. But not I don't know if it's my favorite summer candy. A lot of the list it was mostly fruit candies as well.
Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, blue raspberry, licorice, watermelon, many others.
Not gonna lie, I'm looking at some of these things. I'm like, yeah, maybe if I can just buy the right flavors, I'll just get some right now. But I should not.
No,
I shouldn't.
It's really bad.
Do you have any fond memories of saltwater taffy, even though it's gross?
None that I remember. Oh, excuse me. I was getting tired of looking at the sugar blast that was saltwater taffy.
Shit.
But they look better than wombats, I'll tell you that. I'd rather look at one of those.
Oh yeah, just brightly colored, wrapped in I assume wax paper. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of. a lot on a Wikipedia entry for just saltwater taffy, or taffy in general.
It's a garbage. Bottom of the barrel.
Middle of the road for me. Middle of the road.
Bottom of the barrel.
Not going out of my way, but if someone goes, you want to go get some saltwater taffy? I'll say yes. I want to go inside a candy store. Yeah. For sure I do.
I mean, I'll go into a candy store, of course, but not to buy saltwater taffy ever.
Yeah. Well, some people love it. It's summer's favorite candy.
I don't agree. I think that list is full of shit.
Sean, it was several lists. More than one list.
It was one dude put a list up and everyone else fucking copied him because everybody's so desperate for content and the image of producing content.
Gotta get those clicks.
Yeah.
Gotta get those clicks.
Hey guys, this is the Heads Up podcast coming at you with the top 10 candies of the summer. It's M&Ms and red M&Ms and blue M&Ms and peanut M&Ms and peanut butter M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretzel M&Ms.
The rest of them are all pretzel M&Ms. There. Those are the most popular summer candies.
Yeah. Heads Up official stance, M&Ms are the summer candy. Hey, let us know what your favorite M&M or saltwater taffy flavor is.
I don't care what your favorite candy flavor is, just for the record. But that way when you send it in, you're getting a balanced opinion back.
Yeah.
I'm sure definitely we'll address it. We promise.
It'll definitely get brought up.
Definitely. All right, whoa. Something wrong with that car.
Wow.
Yeah, you heard that?
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
Jesus.
Just a car going up there. I left the window open.
That's cool. It's hot as balls out. I'm sweating.
Yeah, and it's too hot for, the kids to be running up and down the hill, so... Mm-hmm. I figured no big deal, but then that asshole drove by their car. I hope they get their car fixed. I hate car trouble.
Me too.
This has been the Heads Up podcast with Jeff and Sean.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Sean. We're popping off.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay.
No, I know, but I don't ever remember the stuff. All right, hold on, guys. We're going to put a pause on the popping off so that Jeff can chill his social media sites.
You're right. I brought it up a few times today, but it's at Heads Up on Instagram and Twitter and headsuppod@gmail.com. And shirts are at headsup.threadless.com.
And we have, an Instagram and a Twitter?
Yeah, those are at Heads Up Pod.
Just
right?
I was going to say, just at Heads Up or at Heads Up
I don't
Pod?
know. I don't do this segment. I don't know.
Well, you have to know what they're called because I don't check them ever.
At Heads Up Pod.
We got 25,000 viewers desperately trying to get your attention, and you're just not... You're not checking two of the most popular internet websites for social media.
Someone's like, I would love to write it. I just don't know what their handles are.
I don't know what their handles are, and I don't know how to find out.
They're both at Heads Up Pod. Yeah.
What a dumb podcast. Now this has been the Heads Up podcast with Jeff and Sean.
I'm Jeff.
I am Sean, and we did the website stuff. So now we're popping off.
Toodles.
They kill things with their butt.